again, when that whole Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, I keep hearing all this. If you break it down, first of all, and I don't want to get into this because we got to hit that party, but when someone says all lives matter, when someone says Black Lives Matter, it's like Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Now again, I get it. Of course all lives matter. But all lives matter is only possible if Black Lives Matter. So if I were to say Black Lives Matter, say okay, because it's true. Black lives do matter. Well, all lives matter. Nobody said they didn't. Why? Because I say Black Lives Matter, you feel like you got to say all lives matter. That's like if I said,
most people that are saying that I've heard, they're black people that are saying that.
Yeah, but they don't get it either. But the point I'm making is, like, I could say save the whales because there's fucking whales getting harpooned off my deck. And I'm like, save the whales. That doesn't mean I say fuck all the other fish. It's just like, save the fucking whales. You know, what about all the other fucking fish? Fuck, I didn't see them getting harpooned, motherfucker. Like, I'm talking about whales right now. So when someone says Black Lives Matter, and I used to be the one that would say, fuck you, all lives matter. But then I realized, by me saying that, there was a little tiny bit of racism in there. Why? Not racism as most people would define it, but why? Well, because when you say Black Lives Matter, why do I want to defend it? Well, everybody's life matters, which I believe. Because when it boils down to it, all lives matter. But Black Lives Matter isn't about people dying. This is just my opinion. It's about ending racism of any kind. Hispanic, Black, Asian, it doesn't matter. However, when someone says Black Lives Matter, now all I hear is end racism. And I say, I agree. I don't argue it anymore. Because guess what? Black lives matter. And for all lives to matter, Black Lives Matter has to be true. You can't have all lives matter if black ones don't.
I agree with you there.
So when someone says Black Lives Matter, I just say, you're exactly right. They do. And I don't say anymore because guess what? To me, that means end fucking racism.
Well, let me tell you where we disagree. The problem is that the media is not and has never told the truth. The same issue with COVID is right here with the racism.
Sure.
Why did they not talk about, during these riots, why did they not show when police officers took a knee and the crowd came together with police officers and they hugged because the police officers were in solidarity with the community that was protesting because they agreed what happened with that individual with Floyd was not right. Why is the media not covering that? Why is the media not covering where one white police officer gets separated from the rest of the crowd and there are 4 black men that surround the police officer with their backs protecting him from the outside? Why didn't the media cover those type of stories? Why is the media talking about Black Lives Matter and this violence and that violence? Why is the media not talking about the truckloads of bricks and concrete blocks that are being trucked into areas where there's no construction so that people can commit these violent crimes? Why are they not talking about where people have said that I was paid to protest, I went to George Soros' website and I typed in my information and I get a check made from him, signed with his signature stamp? Why are they not talking about that stuff? So this Black Lives Matter is another way of us dividing us by showing black versus white. And that's why I say Black Lives Matter. All lives matter, and we need to understand that this is not about black or white. This isn't about Democrat or Republican. This isn't about Jew versus Muslim. This isn't about men against women. It's old versus young, fat against skinny. It's affecting us all, and the media is a culprit. That's one reason the petition that we started, that I have asked and been talking to the White House about, that we need to hold mainstream media not just financially responsible, but criminally responsible, because they're not complicit with this. I say that those bastards are the ones that are creating these problems. We know they're puppet masters that are pulling their strings, but you know what? As soon as you start holding the owners of the companies and the stockholders responsible, things will change. They have to be held responsible. That you go out there and you say something wrong that causes somebody to be harmed, then you need to be held criminally responsible. How many children have been sexually abused since this COVID-19 started because people were kept in their homes because of the isolation? How many domestic violence cases have occurred because people were kept in their homes? How many suicides have occurred? How many people have died in their homes because they were afraid that if they went to the hospital, they would get COVID-19? How many people have died from waiting for elective procedures but not going to the hospital because they knew that the system was overtaxed? Okay, all those deaths, nobody's talking about those, and they dwarf the number of people, that so-called people that died from COVID-19. They're 2, 3, 4, 10 times more. I have no idea what the numbers are, but they're huge numbers. Nobody's talking about that. Who's responsible for that? The media.
Well, you said, here's where we disagree. I agree with all that.
No, what I meant was we disagree because when, to me, the aspect of, as soon as you start saying Black Lives Matter, now to me, that's racism, because you're saying that Black lives are different than other lives, and I'm saying there is no difference in life. Life is life. In fact, some of the people that I follow, they're saying the exact same thing. They're the ones that, and they're in the African American community. They're the first ones to say it. And to me, if you see a difference in color, to me that's racism. My son, I'll just tell you something funny. My son tells me some jokes that I have told him. I said, you can't tell those kind of jokes because those are really, I mean, they're funny, but those are racially motivated jokes, right? And he's so funny. But I realized he literally does not see the difference in color. His first girlfriend, she was black. So to him, he doesn't see the difference. So I realized that my son telling those kind of jokes, because he's not particular about any race. I mean, he'll tell black jokes, he tells Jewish jokes. He asked me, he goes, Dad, we came back from the Middle East. He goes, Dad, why is it that you can... He's such a funny kid. His name's Rahan. He's 15. He goes, Dad, why is it that you can sit in the airport and say Jesus Christ and nobody cares, but you say Allahu Akbar and they dive on you as a terrorist? Because Allahu Akbar is a call to prayer, right? But the connotation from the mainstream media is when you say Allahu Akbar, there's going to be a bomb that's going to go off. So he has a very.
I'd rather hear on an airplane. I'd rather hear someone yell Jesus Christ and Allahu Akbar, because as soon as someone says that, you think, oh my God, there's going to be.
But that's the point. That's a racial comment, right?
Totally.
And that was his question. I mean, he was being funny about it. So he told me, he goes, Dad, he had some of the stuff, some of the ethnic garb that they wear in the Middle East, in Palestine, and so he wanted to go. He wanted to go to a Walmart with his thing on, with the turban and everything on, sunglasses on, and said that I want to buy all the guns in the Walmart right now. I mean, his sense of humor is, very advanced, very evolved, and somewhat on the cutting edge. But that's the whole point, that you can say Jesus Christ, and then you say Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar is, you know what the literal translation of Allahu Akbar in Arabic is? God is great. Allahu Akbar. God is great. So you can say God is great in English, nobody's going to say anything, but you say it in Arabic, in a different language. And remember, there are Christians, Muslims, and Jews that speak Arabic because that's their native tongue. You say that, it's not considered. I mean, that's the same thing. It's a racially motivated or ethnicity motivated way of separating, and it's like racism, but it's accentuating that difference between people. And to me, that's where the problem is. We should not be accentuating the difference between any race, ethnicity, religion, creed. We should be coming together and understanding that when a life is taken, it's taken, and that should be stopped. Whether it's black or white, it doesn't make any difference.
I wanted to thank everybody for coming to watch this video. I also want to let you know that I am having a live stream tonight discussing the issue of Black Lives Matters. So if you guys want to weigh in or get in the chat or whatever, the link will be in the description of this video. We're going to get into the deep issues or the divided issues of the topic. So, and I want to hear from everybody on this topic. So definitely weigh in. I'll probably have a link in the description or a link in the chat so you guys can get on and talk about it with me as well. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.